good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Dick Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Team, I'm a piano music. Most of us have been at a job that we really hate, either two entities, your coworkers or the boss. And I've had a job where I've hated both. But let's talk about management. In management, if you guys ever either been on it or you've had management that was bad, it could be horrific. And your manager could be a kind of person that micromanages, could be a kind of person that has an attitude, a person who isn't helpful. But they don't necessarily break the rules. Having a bad attitude or being distant as a boss does not really qualify that somebody should be fired. And even you as an employee, you don't necessarily have to like the boss or kiss the boss's behind. You have to show up to work and to produce. And if you're gonna get terminated, it needs to be because the employee has violated code of conducts. Well, what are some of the code of conducts people typically get fired for? Well, disrespecting customers, coming in late, disrespecting other employees, sexual harassment, booty clapping sounds. We can understand why somebody would be terminated for those reasons. It just makes sense. You break the rules, you should be fired. And typically what happens is in the workplace, you typically get warnings and write-ups and, a lot of warnings until there's separation between you and the company. But let me ask you this. What if somebody could fire you just because they didn't like you? Yeah, I don't like you, so I'm gonna fire you. You would think like, wow, that's petty. Isn't that like so third world? Drum roll, please. No, not if you're in the city of Dolton or Thornton Township and you work for Tiffany, the weave wearer Henyard. That's right. But this is exactly what's happened. And now some of these people who have been fired have come back to file lawsuits like this.
Breaking this morning, 3 lawsuits just announced against controversial suburban Mayor Tiffany Henyard. The plaintiffs, they are all former employees of Thornton Township and the village of Dolton. They are all alleging wrongful termination. They include a former HR manager, a public works administrative assistant, and the buildings department director. Their allegations include retaliation and firings over things that they refused to do for Henyard, like punishing business owners who did not support her, suppressing FOIA requests, and also the requests, they say, to dig up dirt on other. An attorney for the women says that there are several other similar lawsuits right now in the works.
Now, this is very interesting because Tiffany Henyard, whenever she fired these people, it wasn't for the aforementioned reasons that I talked about. It was never because the person was late to work. It was never because the person was stealing. Stop the show, because Tiffany Henyard is the one that does all the stealing. It was never that the person was harassing others in the departments. If you talk to the employees of said person, they would say, listen, that person is good. We don't know why they were fired. But Tiffany Henyard has also tried this with her trustees. One, she was successful with getting Edward Steve removed, but when it came to Jason House being removed, she didn't. And check this out.
Residents of Dolton. Once again, Mayor Henyard has issued false statements about the Board of Trustees and a recent court decision in an effort to save face after being recalled by the residents of Village of Dolton. To make matters worse, the mayor spent more than $5,000 on a mailer promoting this misinformation throughout the community of taxpayer money. The reality of the situation is the Board of Trustees has cooperated completely in all settlement discussions throughout the duration of this trial. In an email dated July 15th, outlining the settlement discussions with the Board of Trustees, specifically indicates the plaintiffs responded with a bracket of $5 to $7 million. Jason and the board wanted the insurers, the insurance company, to negotiate within that bracket. Clearly, the board was in compliance and did everything possible to make sure that the insurance company would follow the instructions of the Board of Trustees. It's unfortunate that Mayor Henyard would take a situation where one individual died and another one was injured for the rest of his life and try to make that a political stunt and intentionally mislead the community. This type of intentional misrepresentation to the community further shows why 56% of the Dolton residents voted to recall Mayor Henyard. So we thank you for taking time to listen to this. As always, myself and the Board of Trustees are always available to listen, answer questions, and give you the proper responses. Thank you.
That was Jason House having to defend his good name in the city of Dolton. I've yet to see anybody talk about him negatively, all for the fact that Tiffany Henyard wanted him also out. But let's talk about the people that she did get fired. There was a young lady, beautiful young lady by the name of Eris Montgomery, who was a deputy clerk. She got fired for simply holding Tiffany Henyard accountable. Let's see how that played out.
For all those who watched the October 2nd, 2023 board meeting, you won't be shocked to find out the mayor has fired the deputy clerk, Eris Montgomery. Why? Well, because she stood up for herself to the all-powerful super mayor. It's no secret that Henyard's self-entitlement is very obvious during board meetings. She disrespects anyone she wants, but no one can dare talk to her the way she talks to all those beneath her. And yes, the mayor intentionally has the trustees and clerk actually sit beneath her in board meetings. We can't make this up. We think it's important to applaud the deputy clerk for how she handled herself. After Henyard started the meeting 15 minutes late, she gave the mayor's report first, which was an hour-long defensive rant about how great she is and demanded everyone to respect her for it. Next, we will watch a few clips that led to the deputy clerk's unfortunate dismissal.
Approval of minutes for September 5th, 2023 regular board meeting.
That's not on the agenda.
It says approval of minutes.
It's not on the agenda.
So why is approval of minutes on here?
Normally, just so you know how this go, deputy clerk, it has to say the date and the when you guys wanted the minutes. It will have a date by. It's not on the agenda. And if you're paying attention, it's saying mayor's veto on September 25th, 2023 minutes. So
I said September 5th, not September 25th.
Well, it's not on there. And thank you for clarifying, but it's not on there.
Hold on. Prior agendas have had approval of minutes without the dates on there.
It's not on there, so please move on.
Okay.
Yes, great point, Eris. In past meetings, the mayor has even given instruction on how to amend a motion to include meeting minutes that weren't included in the agenda. We love providing proof, so here you go.
For the record, this is what's on the agenda, so you have to follow the agenda. She can amend it, and she can add the other two separately. So I just stated how I would like to do it.
And if you ever bring up things like illegal spending by the mayor, yeah, that could also get you canned.
Just for the record, and the reason I guess I want all of the citizens to know why we're so adamant about this budget and what's going on. May 12, 2021, a resolution was passed. The following persons are hereby authorized to be added as signatories for all city accounts. Mayor Tiffany Henyard, Village Clerk Allison Key. Any prior signatories or individuals authorized and hereby removed from the accounts, prior authorization is revoked. Number of signatures required are a combination of both signatures. At the approval of payment by the village board, each check shall be signed by the mayor and the clerk. We have a $500,000 check signed by Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Y'all wonder why we worried about the money? This is why we worried about the money. $561,000 check with one signature on there. It's a problem. That means that money is being spent, and after we don't find out till after the check's been cashed. That's why we up here complaining about it.
Now, that was Kiana Belcher. It didn't get the mayor to fire her, but it did get the mayor to remove her picture from City Hall, which is why Kiana Belcher at every town or city council meeting holds her picture there, because Tiffany Henyard took the picture down and kicked it. Right, all because of being accountable. But see, that is what happens when you have a person that is a tyrant like Tiffany Henyard. You don't like me, so because I don't like you, well, I'm not gonna even give you a business license. Well, she can't fire this person, but what can she do? She can then tell this person that I won't renew your license for a restaurant, like in this clip.
And holding up licenses to certain businesses, like this Dolton restaurant.
I've heard rumors that say, hey, I'm on the wrong team.
Dwayne Wood has been trying to renew the business license for his restaurant for nearly a year. While he has not talked to the FBI, he believes he can't get approved because he's provided catering to several Dolton trustees who are engaged in a political fight with Henyard.
I think I've been just targeted because of my affiliation with a certain group of people. You know, I had the trustees. I've cooked for the trustees.
Yeah, because all of that is like real mature, isn't it? It's real mature to do things like that, Tiffany Henyard. I mean, it just makes sense. I don't like the person. The person doesn't want to do whatever that I want to do, so I'm going to fire them. Now, let me kind of riddle you guys this. If I was a person that ran the business and I owned the business with my own money, that's right, my cash I put into the business, and then I wanted to fire somebody. Well, it's still against probably most state laws or local laws to fire somebody without reason. Now, you do have some states like California where you don't need any reason to terminate anybody, but hey, it should still be a good reason. But in the case of Tiffany Henyard, the village of Dolton is not your business. You are also an employee of the city of Dolton. So now, how are you acting like this is your own money? Again, you're acting like everything in Dolton belongs to you. And you didn't work hard to build Dolton up. You couldn't even keep your own business going because you're lazy and you're largely untalented. So anybody that disagrees with you, you're trying to get rid of them when you're an employee of Dolton Village, of Dolton, Illinois. That's what's so crazy. But hey, this is what happens when you're dealing with, I'll say it, crazy people. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.